Hey there! Have you ever looked up at our big, bright sun and thought, what would happen if it just, poof, disappeared? It's a wild idea, right? Well, today we're going to explore that exact question together, step by step. So let's imagine it. 1 second, the sun is shining bright, and the next, it's just gone. What happens to us here on Earth? You know, the answer is probably not what you think, and it's actually pretty cool. So if the sun were to vanish right this second, you wouldn't know, I wouldn't know. For a few minutes, everything would seem completely and totally normal. Let's figure out why that is. Okay, get this. For 8 whole minutes, absolutely nothing would happen. Isn't that wild? You'd be walking around, the sky would be blue, everything would feel totally normal. It's like we wouldn't even have a clue the sun was gone. So, why 8 minutes? What's the magic number? It all comes down to something called light minutes. Our planet Earth is 8 light minutes away from the sun, and that little fact is the key to this whole puzzle. What in the world is a light minute? Well, think of it this way. Light moves super fast, but space is just so big. It actually takes the light from the sun about 8 minutes to travel all that way and finally reach us here on Earth. So we're always seeing the sun as it was 8 minutes in the past. So for those 8 minutes, we're basically living in the past. Seeing the sun's last little bit of light, it's like its final goodbye traveling through space. And then, when that very last ray of sunlight hits us, everything changes. And what's that first big change? I bet you can guess. Yep, it gets really dark. Just try to imagine the darkest night you've ever seen, with no moon in the sky. It would be just like that, but it would happen instantly, right in the middle of what was supposed to be the day. The whole world would just be plunged into complete darkness. But here's a neat little thought. Our electric lights would still work, at least for a little while. Our cities would just keep glowing in the dark, kind of like little islands of light floating in a huge dark ocean.
The darkness is just the first thing, though. The next big problem is the cold. Without the sun's warm hug, our planet would start to get chilly really fast.
I mean, in just a couple of days, things would change a lot. The temperature would drop like a rock. Of course, solar panels would stop working. Plants wouldn't be able to make their food anymore. And all the wind and rain, well, that would all start to quiet down too. And that leads to a really big problem for everyone. If there are no plants, then the animals that eat plants have no food. And if those animals are gone, then the animals that eat them have no food. The entire food chain would just fall apart. Okay, let's jump forward in time a little bit. A few months, maybe even a few years. What would our planet look like then? In a word, icy. The surface of the Earth would get so cold that the tops of the oceans would freeze solid. It would be like a giant, thick, icy blanket covering the whole world. But here is a super cool secret. That giant ice blanket would actually protect the water underneath it, keeping it from freezing. Deep down in the ocean, the water would stay liquid, warmed up by heat coming from inside the Earth itself. So okay, it's a cold and dark world. But could people survive? Could we build a new home in this frozen land? Well, the answer is maybe. We would have to be very clever. We could use that heat from inside the Earth for power or maybe nuclear power. We could build our cities deep underground where it's warmer. And we could even learn how to grow food inside using special lights. It would be like the biggest adventure in all of human history. But you want to know the most amazing part of this whole story? Even in a frozen, dark world, we wouldn't be totally alone. Life is a lot tougher than you think, and some of it would definitely find a way to keep going. That's right. Life is so strong. Even when no sun at all, some amazing little creatures would just carry on living on our planet Earth. So who are these super tough survivors? Well, deep down in the ground, you've got these tiny little microbes. And way at the bottom of the ocean, there are these amazing creatures that live near super hot vents coming out of the Earth. See, they don't need sunlight at all. For them, with or without the sun, it's business as usual. Wow. So the next time you step outside and feel that warm sun on your face, just take a second to think about it. It's like our giant campfire in space, keeping us all warm and safe. It's pretty nice to know it's right where it belongs, isn't it? Thanks for joining me on this adventure.